Alright, you guys. So today, it's another science tutorial, but this time we'll be tackling all about chemistry, which is balancing chemical equations. So this is a chemical equation. And as we've discussed, the left side is what you call the reactants. And the right side, on the other hand, is what you call the product of those reactants. These are all separated by the arrow right here. So that's how you'll identify if the ones in the left side are the reactant side and one on the right side, which is the product side. This arrow separates them. So we'll be balancing out different atoms from different elements so they could balance out their whole numbers. That's going to be the goal of this video, to teach you how to balance the elements and the atoms from the left side and the right side, which is separated by the arrow. So we'll be tackling C first. So we got C here, which has an atom of 1, which is imaginary. And searching for the left side, we don't have any other C atoms. So we'll be going to the right side next. And as you can see, we got C6. C1, that doesn't equate to a balanced form. So we have to make this C1 be able to balance with C6 to be equal with it. In order to do that, we have to put a 6 right here. So now that's 6C. It's 6 C atoms, and there's 6 C atoms. So now that's balanced. Next, we got O2. So always don't forget, when you put a coefficient at the first turn, use that coefficient to multiply with this on the other side. It doesn't apply when it's separated by plus signs, but when you add a coefficient, always multiply with whatever's in that specific parenthesis or boundary. So 6 times 2, that equates to 12. 12 oxygen atoms. Plus this oxygen, which is still in the left side, so that equates to 13 oxygen atoms. Compared to this, we got 6 oxygen atoms plus 2, that's now 8. So since this is an odd number and an even number, we'll be going back for that later. Since that's going to be hard to solve, we're going to have to solve for other atoms and elements instead. We'll be skipping this part. So we'll be moving on with H. So H2, to this we got H12. So we have to make them equal. In order to do that, we have to put 6 right here. Because 6 times 2 is equals to 12 H atoms, and this is 12 H atoms, so now that's balanced. So we have to go back to the equation again with O, because now we have an extra coefficient right here which we can multiply with this. So we'll be adding that. 6 times O2, that equates to 12, plus 6 times O equals to 6. 12 plus 6 is equating to 18 oxygen atoms. Solving this, we got oxygen atoms 6. 6 plus oxygen atoms of 2 on the right side, that equates to 8. Alright, so 8. That still doesn't equate. So we have to make it so that the shorter number has to go pair to pair with the higher number. We have to go with the right side. We have to modify that. So in order to modify that, we have to go with the shorter number instead. The one that separates the plus. Oh, this is much shorter, has less numbers, so we're going to go with that so that it's much easier. So in order to go pair to pair with the 18 oxygen atoms of the left side, the right side has to balance itself out to make itself go 18 from 8. So what number goes from 8 to 18? So 8 plus 10 makes 18. We have to get that number by multiplying it with 2. So our decision would be to make this 6. Since of course you're gonna lose the 2, it's gonna become 12. So 6 times 2, 12. You add that with the normal 6, that equates to 18. So now it's balanced. But always don't forget to recheck your work, because you might get a mistake or two in the end and you're gonna regret it. Alright? So recheck again. Left side to right side. So 6C, we got 6. The other row, we got C6. So that's 6 again. That's balanced. We got 6 times 2. We got 12 plus the 6 here. That's 18. We got 6 plus 12 again. That's 18. Next, we got the H2 times 6, of course. That equates to 12. And we got H12. So that's balanced. And that's all. So this whole equation, the answer is 6, 6, and then 6. 2 6s on the left side, and then 1 6 on the right side. On to the next equation. So next equation is going to be a little bit harder, since this is going to be only a short video. I'm going to make it easier. So we got parentheses equations waited for us right here. So in order to bypass that, we have to solve with the right side and the left side and all that shenanigans, separated by the arrow. So AL2 on the left side and the right side. So we got AL2 to AL. We have to balance that out. So we have to put a 2 here. So now AL2 and 2AL. So that's equal. So that's balanced. So next is going to be a parentheses equation. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to times the subscript on the outside with the inside. So multiplication added here. So 3 times 1 to the s, that makes it 3. And then, of course, 3 times 4, that equates to 12 oxygen atoms. We're gonna imagine that. Same with this equation from the left side. We're gonna be adding this 2 right here and right here. So we're going O2 and H2. Same with the right side, but we're doing that later. So now we got S3 on this side. That's the only S in this corner, so we're gonna have to move on to the next side, the right side. S3 to S1. So we're gonna have to balance that out. Since this is S3, we're gonna have to put in a 3 here. So now 3S to S3. That's balanced. So now we got O12 next. O12 plus O2. 12 plus 2. That equates to 14. On the left side. So that 14 with the right side now, we get to multiply this inside the parentheses with this. Absolutely becomes so this O is going to become 3, of course 3 times 1, and then 3 to H comes 3. So again, we got 14 from here because 12 plus 2, and now we got this 3 to 3. So the oxygen here is 3 plus coefficient inclusion. So we got 3 times 4 of the O4 right here. That equates to 12. So that is 15. This is 14 and this is 15 oxygen molecules. You have to make this side go toe to toe with this. But since it's a, you know, it's an odd number, I have to make it work. But here's the catch. Don't be confused with this. Now that we have a coefficient here, we'll be solving that for later. But now we'll be moving forwards to CA first. So CA is 1. The other is 3. We have to balance that out. So that has to become 3. 3CA now. As you can see, this coefficient just made a change in the entire continuum. Because this is not 2 anymore. Because you've added a 3 here, you have to add it, you have to combine it with the subscript outside the parentheses. 3 times 2 equates to 6. Now 6 times O, it equates to 6. This is a 6 now, because you just multiplied this and this. 6 times H is 6 again, so it's changed, as you can see. Because of that, this has now become, the oxygen here has become now 12. 12 plus the oxygen in here, which is 6. That's 6, by the way. 6. Couldn't erase it, but yeah, that's 6. So now 12 plus 6 equates to 18. Because of that, we can now solve this once more. So we got 2 here. Same equation with what happened here. 2 has to go through 3. So this has to become 6 again. So 6 times O. 6 times O, this becomes 6 instead of 3. Then H is the same. Because of that, the O6 right here plus 3 times the O4, that's 12. That equates to 18. And the oxygen molecules, the O molecules and atoms, are now balanced and equal. And because of that, we're going to be going for H again. Because this is now converted to 6. H6 plus H6, because this is converted to 6. So that's balanced, as you can see. But don't forget, always recheck your answer every time you finish, because it's going to be chaotic. So Al2 to Al, that's balanced. Good, good. Next is now we have S3. S3 to S3 right here, that's balanced. O12 plus O6 equates to 18 oxygen. Now O6 to O12 is same, 18. So that's balanced. Oxygen is balanced. Next, 3Ca. That equates to 3Ca, which is balanced once again. And the next one, oxygen is omitted. We're done with that. H, hydrogen. Hydrogen, 6. And the other side is 6 also. So everything in this equation is balanced the way it is. The answer being on the left side, we got a 3. And on the right side, we got 2 and 3. That's the answer. 3, 2, 3. On to the next equation. So this is going to be the last equation for today. The last example, since it's almost 10:30. So we're going to have to do this fast. Okay, so starting now, we got H2. H2 plus H right here. H2 plus H, that equates to 3 H molecules or H atoms on the left side. On the right side, we got H2, and we got H2. So that equates to 4. I have to make this become 4. But since it's an odd number to an even number, we're going to have to solve that later. So now, we're gonna move on with S instead. Since that's an odd and even number, it's gonna be harder to solve. We have to go back to that later. For S, we have 1 on the left side, separated by the arrow, and we got 1 on the right side also, so that's balanced. We got 04 on the left side, we got O for the right side. We have to make this 4 in order to balance it out. So 04 to 04 again, so that's balanced. Since 4 times 1, of course, as usual, it makes 4. So next, we got H again. So H, we're gonna have to go for that later. For now, we're gonna have to go for I. We got I of 1 to I of 2. Have to balance that out. In order to make this I2, since it's the shorter number, we have to put a 2 right here. So now 2 times 1, that becomes 2. Now it's balanced. So as you can see, there's a change in the coefficients. So we have to do this equation again. So H2 plus 2H, of course, this is the same, plus 2, it equates to 4. And for the right side, we got H2 again. Of course, we got 2 plus H2. This is changed. It becomes 4 times 2. So that's now 8. So that equates to 10. 4 times 2 equals to 8. Then plus 2, we got 10. We have to make this 4 go to 10. Alright? So in order to make this from 4 to 10, we have to fill in the blanks. We need 6 more. So instead of 2, hopefully we'll be using another one. So now that we've figured it out through a little bit of time consuming things, so the appropriate number in order to make this side go for 10, we have to fill in 8. Because H2 plus 8 equates to 10 hydrogen atoms. With this in mind, we got 2 plus 4 times, of course, H2 right here. We got the same answer. So we got 8, which is exactly balanced. But if you take a look, putting 8 here also changed the I level of our thing. Because of the coefficient, I is now 8 atoms. It has 8 atoms. Because of that, we have to balance things out with the right side again. So in order to make this make and go to 8, we have to put in 4. If 4 times 2, it's equals to 8. We have to check again because there might be some mistakes. As I have always said, check your answers every time you finish because it always makes sense. Of course, it always makes sense. Anyways, so H2 plus 8H equates to 10. 10 H atoms. H2, 4 times 2, we got 8 plus 2, we got 10 H atoms. So that's balanced. S, we got S1, we got S1. So that's balanced as well. O4 to 4 times 1 here, that also is equals to 4. That's balanced. So the H we've already done, but the I 8 to this 4 times 2, that becomes I8. So everything is at a balance and an equal equation. The answer is from the left side we got 8, the right side we got 4, and we got 4. And that's the whole equation. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again in the next tutorial video. See you again in the next one.